Jeremy Ellis here, maker of the GitHub organization WebMCU AI. You can go through that. What I want to work with today, this is the installable PWA for the vision classification model. And the only pain with the installable one is you have to download all these firmware. So I'm just going to use the online one. And there's the URL. I have already taken my Chow. This is the ML kit, not just the Chow ESP32S3 Sense that has the camera. But I've double checked that this SD card right here is blank. I also don't have the Arduino IDE running. If I did, it would be really hard to flash the device because it wouldn't necessarily show the port. Anyway. There it is. It's flashing the device. We have the firmware if you want to use the Arduino IDE to do that, and it would take a few minutes. So what have we done? I'm going to refresh this page. By the way, if it was the PWA, there would be an install button right here, and it would install that page for offline use. The rest of this stuff, flashing is a bit of a pain offline, but the rest of the stuff all works fine. I'm going to, simply because I always do, reboot that Chow. I'm going to connect it, and there we go. And this is the menu you would see. This is simply like putty. It's a serial monitor. So we could click next and see it goes to cup, next it goes to pen, next it goes to train, next it goes to infer, next it goes back. If you wanted to select those, you'd go select, and I've got some buttons here that just do that a little quicker. Now, what we need to do is we need to choose a project folder. That's not a bad place. Let's make a new folder, call it test 06 for whatever reason, and select it. Now I can save on my hard drive, and I'm allowing it to do that. I'm also going to come down here. Blank is fine, but I'm going to use hand, and I'm going to use face. And remember, this is programming or machine learning training local, so I'm going to use my own face. I think we're doing pretty good. What we need to do is, first we need to start streaming from this Chow. Let me make sure it's right there. It's kind of pointed at me. And one extra thing here, I love seeing the browser heat map. Strangely didn't run, but there I am, okay? And this is through this. If I put my finger in front of it, see, it's gone. So now, what I want to do to start with is I want to train blank, which means I'm just going to train it on nothing else. I'm also going to bump this training thing up. It can be thousands, it doesn't really matter. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking images that aren't necessarily my face, and kind of getting in there a little bit, which is kind of messing things up. I want to get about 10. And so then, ooh, this is going to get confusing. How am I going to do this without my hand? Never really thought that one through. Let's do hand on the mouse. There we go. So I'm just going to move. Hopefully these aren't exactly the same pictures. And then I'm going to train my face. So I got to click while looking at it. I want to have lots of different pictures. Strangely using my wrong hand, which is making this different. Now at some point it should start training. It's waiting. I've got enough samples. Why'd my browser heat map not work? Well, that's strange. Well, I'm just going to go force train and see how we do. I guess start camera. I forgot that part. Anyway, you can see there it's training. I've got the loss right here of 0.6. And I've bumped up my epochs. There is confusion matrix, which seems to have lost its colors on this page. And it also is analyzing right here whether it's the hand face. And so I'm getting some real feedback. Let's look at face. And it's getting there. You got 90. It's jumping around a little bit. And then hand isn't going to be so good because it was hand on the mouse here. Yep, 90%. And then blank was kind of the back screen, 100%. So the training actually looks pretty good. Let's have a quick look at my confusion matrix, 12, 11, 13. Now, this actually worked too well, but hey, that's great. I want this to be a quick video. So now what I need to do is I need to save this. Where the heck's the button to save them? We want the config on the PC. We want the weights on the PC, the H file on the PC, and the config on the PC. Okay, the reason for that is I'm going to pull this SD card, put it in this incredibly cool little USB thing, dump it in here. There's the page came up. It already has header, but it only has a config on there. So now I'm going to open up another. Where did I save stuff? I saved it in downloads. That is a little silly of me. I'm not exact. Oh, didn't I call it test 06? Perfect. There it is. I want those to be in that other file, the header and the images. Okay, so I'm going to copy that over. Replace the file and destination. Let's just have a check. The header is the important. It's got a config. It's got a weights bin and a weights H. People familiar with machine learning will recognize that weights H, but I'm actually using the binary. So we are going to eject that and throw it back in. Make sure it's the right way around. Throw it back in this. Let's boot it again. And now, I always refresh, connect again. There it is, connect it. This theoretically is fully trained. And so now, actually, on the device, and by the way, my heat map didn't work on the first one. Let's try turning it on this one. And let's see, I'm going to try inferring. And there we go. Now remember, this is a serial monitor. It's blank right now. Oh, I stared it at my face. It determined the face. I put my hand there, oh, hand on top of the mouse, and that one's not as well trained. So I would go back, and I wonder if it's relevant that it was my left hand. I would, oh, there it's grabbing it at a good, that's weird that it's right-handed, left hand, back to face. That's on the device, and there's no TensorFlow. It's all, you can go look at that firmware code. It's about 2,000 lines. Yeah, oh, there's the heat map. Look what happens. There's my face, and I'm just going to grab this down to the heat map. And so it's recognizing face. Strangely with hand, it didn't really get my right hand. But when I switch to my left hand, there it's getting it at 90, 80%. And then typically the background is blank. That's fine. I'm done.